And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank you.
Now recognize the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much for the time to hold this hearing today, and thank you, Mr. Strickling, other witnesses today. Mr. Kirchhoff from Colorado, thank you for being here. I guess I had some prepared comments yesterday that we were going over to talk about this morning's hearing. And then I spent an hour yesterday listening to a legislative audit committee in the Colorado State Legislature. It's a bipartisan committee, equal amount of Republicans and Democrats on this committee, where the end statement by a leading state senator, a Democrat, was this: the more questions the more we hear about EagleNet, the more questions we have. I'll just read some comments from constituents that I have before we get into this about EagleNet, and that's the subject of this hearing. What is happening, what is going on, and why do we have so much overbuild in Colorado out of $100 million at a time when this government is trying to scrape money together? One constituent, PC Telecom, having overbuilt nearly 100% of PCT's fiber optic facilities in Colorado. We have another company in Colorado. All of CCOM's network information was available to EagleNet in advance of their overbuilds. We have another company, private company in Colorado. Blanca was more than willing to offer NTIA reasonable terms that would have saved them an estimated $20 million, but NTIA, with full knowledge that Blanca served almost every community anchor institution in its service territory, chose instead to duplicate their high-speed internet services. These are private sector jobs. At a time when the White House, at a time when all of us talk about creating middle-class jobs, good-paying jobs, we have a $100 million grant that went to the state of Colorado that is putting at risk private sector jobs, the very good middle-class paying jobs that we are trying so desperately to create and preserve. And the Denver Post yesterday was a story. 96 out of the $100 million, 96 million out of the $100 million has already been tied up in this grant, yet only 25% of the more than 220 K-12 school districts, libraries, community colleges, and other educational institutions that are supposed to be wired into the network are actually connected. At the hearing yesterday, the representatives of EagleNet couldn't tell us who they served, who their members were, how much has been built, how much money they have. When a nonpartisan audit committee says the more we hear, the more questions we have, something's gone dramatically wrong. And the fact is, when we hear statements from the intergovernmental entity itself that they don't know, they can't provide the answers, but they've spent almost all of this and they're 25% completed, this isn't working.
Gentleman's time's expired. Chair recognizes